welcome back. We are here with a very fun and very exciting project that we are so ready to tell you about. And I am here with Mr. Jonathan Wright from Newfields. Jonathan,
Hi,
how are
thanks for
you
having me.
doing?
I'm fantastic. It's so great to be here to talk with you today.
Yeah, and I'm so excited. We've been talking off camera. I can hear the passion in your voice. We're going to get into this garden that is being opened up at Newfields. But before we get into that, I want to know what exactly is Newfields.
Oh, absolutely.
What in the world? I know it's right here in Circle City, but let's get into what that is exactly.
Absolutely. Newfields is an extraordinary cultural campus. We're over 152 acres, and we have some incredible assets that all come together in this amazing place, right? So first and foremost, people know us because of the Indianapolis Museum of Art, one of the top 10 largest and most incredible museum collections in the country. We also have the Virginia B. Fairbanks Art and Nature Park, which is a 100-acre urban oasis along the White River with a 35-acre lake, and it's studded with incredible works of contemporary art. It's free and open to the public every day of the year, dawn to dusk.
It's free.
It's free,
Okay.
and you can come, you can drive to us, you can bike to us, or run to us, or walk to us on the canal towpath. It's absolutely incredible, and we have an incredible team that maintains that in a more naturalistic style, so you can kind of feel like you're out connecting with nature right downtown. But it's also studded with some amazing works of contemporary art. And then we have the incredible Lily House and our garden. And the garden is more than 26 acres of historic gardens that are around the historic Lily Mansion of the Lily family. It's a National Historic Landmark. And they generously gifted a big piece of property to the Art Association back in the late 1960s, early 1970s to build a new home for the IMA with this incredible vision that our city could have an amazing museum within a garden. And so we have contemporary gardens around the IMA as well.
You know, this is really fascinating for me because I've been in the city my whole life. I grew up here. And of course, you know, you had to go on field trips here when you were a kid. But, you know, as an adult, you're hearing all these things and you're like, what? Like, this
All
is
in one
right
place.
here. Like, and like, you know, you might hear about it during Christmas and the lights and things, but I don't know about the capacity of all of its glory. And
It's really fun. I mean, having friends from I've been in the gardening career my whole life. I mean, in this career for many, many years, and my whole life I've been a gardener and have gardening friends who come from around the country, people who are art museum lovers who come from around the country, and they're always blown away by the fact that, you know, our garden, the museum, the park, we have this all in one incredible location.
Yeah. So
really
tell
lucky.
me about, because that's what you're here for.
Yes.
Tell me about the gardens within
Yes.
Newfields.
So, as I mentioned, we have historic gardens around the historic Lily House, and then we have contemporary gardens around the IMA. The whole garden as a whole has all these different rooms. Like the way a museum has many galleries,
Because
our
what does
garden
that
has
mean?
a lot of different
That's
rooms.
what I'm trying to dig into. Like, what does that mean? To me, a garden is a garden is a garden. You know, like to me, they're kind of all the same.
Absolutely.
In my head, because you know, I've grown up a lot more urban, if you will, in the sense
Absolutely.
of, you know, you just
Oh,
go,
you think of a
you just-
vegetable garden with a fence around it where you grow tomatoes
you know,
and peppers.
and there's maybe some rabbits that come up, you know,
Exactly.
and maybe, you know, that, because all of my food, like, you know, I get it from the grocery store, you know,
Yeah.
I don't, you know,
As
I don't.
most of us do. Most
Right.
of us don't have the space to have a big garden at home and grow a lot of our own food.
So
So
tell me
we're lucky to have the space to do that.
about, like, what's in the space of these gardens. Like, what's within them.
When you arrive at Newfields, depending on the time of year, you can start your journey in the IMA galleries and see one of our incredible exhibitions or visit the collection. Or you can start out in the garden and explore the Lily House, our incredible historic greenhouse, which is home to an amazing orchid collection.
Yeah.
So you can wander and explore inside and out, and much like in the museum, you can go from one gallery and see incredible work from America, or incredible Asian art, or incredible African art. In the garden, we have it's arranged very similarly. So gardens tend to be more strolling experiences. So in the historic heart of the garden, it centers around the Lily House, and there are incredible views framed with big trees that you might call more formal. And then they're bordered by areas that are a little more meandering, and you could wander down a shade garden and see beautiful shade plants and spring wildflowers blooming. And the whole experience was arranged. We're a National Historic Landmark, partly because of the Lily House itself, but partly because the garden and all of the outbuildings still exist. So it was built from the early 1920s into about 1930 when the Lilly family acquired the place. And so you have all these different rooms. So you have a garden that might feel more formal, and you have woodland borders where you might feel like you're more wandering down like a woodland path.
Okay.
And you can kind of
getting it.
wander and have a great experience.
Yeah, okay, I'm picking up on it. So I want you to dig into a little bit about your personal history around why you love gardening so much and how you're attached to it.
Yeah. I've always been, I've gardened my whole life. I think I've been drawn to the power and the beauty that plants have in our lives. As a little kid, I watched my grandmother, when she was struggling with cancer, my grandfather would tend the garden and grow all of her favorite flowers. And build a little stone wall so she could, he could push her out in her wheelchair and she could smell those flowers up close. And as a little kid, to see the smile on her face and the power that beauty and flowers can have in someone's life, I think I was hooked from a very young age. So I've always gardened, and it's what kind of drives me, and it drives a lot of us in the world of public gardens, right? We build places for the community to come together and to celebrate. You might come for wedding photos or engagement photos or high school graduation photos, or you may come alone when you're having a rough time and you just need to be in a beautiful place and find some solace.
Yeah. Wow. And so you can just walk into Newfields, or how does that work?
Absolutely. So general admission. So once you come in, your ticket includes admission to all that we have to offer: the IMA galleries and the garden, the Lily House, the greenhouse. As I mentioned, the Virginia Beach Fairbanks Art and Nature Park, which is 2/3 of our property, we maintain that as a free and open park every day of the year. There is a general admission fee to get into the museum and the garden. And we have an incredible membership program as well, and so that you can come and once you're in the doors, you can explore everything.
Yeah, I really appreciated what you were saying about the beauty of a garden, because there's just something special that a garden has, and there's something special that you all are doing at Newfields. And so tell me about your passion project and about what you've been working on for what I'm hearing a decade.
Yes.
And so tell me about this groundbreaking.
So just yesterday we broke ground on something that I'm personally really excited about, and so many in this community have been so supportive of and are really invested in, is bringing back the historic heart of our garden. So back in around 1970, when the museum opened, we needed more parking. So at that time, the best solution was to take the original, essentially kitchen garden, right? The productive garden where the flowers and vegetables for the whole Lily estate were grown, was a flat area behind a hedge. So they turned it into a parking lot. And that may have served us well back then, but today, as we really are investing in the history of the place and bringing back the beauty and making it more accessible to the community, we really wanted to bring back that element that's been missing, that kitchen garden. And so our flower and vegetable garden has been in development for 10 years now.
I cannot even believe that, like, that a garden, that there's something about, like, and that's the thing. When I think about it, it's like, to me, a garden is not just like an overnight project, because I like things like in news, you just you're fast.
It's very quick, right?
But there's something that with a garden, it seems like you get the chance to slow down.
You do, and it is important to think about that. I mean, that's one of the things that drives what we do, is being a place to come. And I always say my goal is you come through our garden gate and you should just exhale and find yourself in a place where you can slow down and the beauty really is restorative. And so this project, there is currently, and we are in the process, thanks to yesterday's groundbreaking, of removing it, a more than a half-acre parking lot right in the middle of our National Historic Landmark, like this famous garden. And in the middle, where there used to be this beautiful garden, is a parking lot. So we will be removing that and bringing back this incredible historic view that connects it's right around for those who have been to the garden before, the beautiful historic greenhouses, the elder greenhouses. So the Madeline F. Elder greenhouses are right there on this spot. And so we'll be surrounding those beautiful historic greenhouses with an incredible garden that's inspired by the history, but allows us to think for the future and add a few new elements.
Yeah. When I hear you say vegetable garden, I think food.
Absolutely.
And so what does that piece look like?
I'm so glad you asked. Food is such a connector, right?
Yeah.
And I think, it's in the world, in the museum world, we have this a similar conversation around people who love art and are creative, but are hesitant to call themselves an artist, right? But we're all creative, right? And
Yeah.
I think we're all gardeners in some way, even when people are maybe hesitant to call themselves a gardener, right? And that's we all have some connection with plants, whether it's house plants or you had a relative growing up who had an amazing garden and grew tomatoes, and maybe you had to go out and weed the tomato patch, and your memories aren't like always like excited that you had to go out and weed, but people have those connections, and food plants are really great at kind of bringing people together. And so we're excited about exploring that and the connections that people can have with the plants in the garden.
Yeah. So what are you guys thinking about as far as like the possibilities for the garden, like projects that you all will host and things there?
So that's the thing that's exciting, and you mentioned the longevity of a garden, and that's why we spent so much time planning this. Is we could have gone and just kind of put back something that looked like the photo from 1920, and we are bringing a lot of those views back because we find we have a responsibility to respect the history. But for the programming, we know that people connect around food and social gatherings, and so we, through our Winter Lights program, Spring Blooms, Harvest Nights, we're always trying to find ways to invite people to come and connect in the garden in all seasons. So this way, with this new flower and vegetable garden, whether it's spring, summer, fall, or winter, you can come, be inspired by what we're growing, learn. Even if don't have a big garden yourself, you may be inspired to grow containers of herbs on your back patio to enjoy in your own cooking.
Yeah.
And from a programmatic standpoint, we're going to have an outdoor classroom.
Yeah.
So we can work with educators. We have an incredible chef on our team. So we imagine doing programs where you could come and do a tasting, and you walk with a gardener and a chef, and you see what's growing. The team harvests some things, and then you go and you get invited to sit down with us and taste what's growing right in our own garden.
Oh, there's something so sweet about that. I've been watching this class. It's a master class on intentional eating.
Yes.
And the guy, he's been talking about how you need to grow your food yourself and how that shifts things and changes things. But for me, the task of growing something, it feels so daunting.
Right.
You got to know that, like, I'm just, somebody that just goes to the store and picks it up.
Yep.
And so if you have someone like me, what would you say? What would you encourage them to do as far as a start?
Yeah.
Because for me, I'm like scared because
Right.
it's like, and I know
It's
it's
overwhelming.
beautiful,
No.
but it feels like overwhelming. Like, can I grow this?
Yeah.
Can I actually do this?
I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's part of the goal of this is no matter what level of gardener you are, we want you to come and be inspired and learn and grow yourself, right? And so if that's, it may very well be that you say, I don't even have an outdoor patio, but you might have you might have front steps where you could, we could do a workshop where you could come in and you could learn how to grow. If you said, I love basil on my when I make pasta. Well, that's a really easy thing for you to learn. Come do a workshop with us, learn how to grow that yourself. You might start with one pot of basil that you love. So I would say start small, start with something that you love and something that you have kind of are excited about, because once you get success with that, it'll grow.
Well, I tell you what, that is encouraging for me as somebody who's actively thinking about gardening and who's thinking about not so much. I don't really have the space or the capacity really to do a full-fledged garden,
Right.
But in terms of getting like some vegetables or something like that, there's a different motivation there.
Absolutely, and that's what we're hoping to do with this project is, we're big believers in leading with beauty, right? So this garden is going to be stunning. We have an amazing team. Our horticulturist, Marion Keith, has been working on the planting plans. But the idea behind it is that you may not know anything about flowers, but you knew somebody who had a peony outside their kitchen door growing up, or you saw one at a relative's house. So we'll be growing things that you can connect with. And so whether you're a novice or you're an expert, we want to make sure that there's something to inspire everyone.
Yeah, I grew up, the only person, I grew up right here in the city. I grew up really downtown, not far from Newfields, not far from the fairgrounds. I grew up downtown. And I don't know why this guy had this, but he had an apple tree in his backyard.
Right.
And it brought people together. We also had an apple tree in our backyard, and it brought people together. My parents took it down because it brought too many people. And they were like, well, I don't think they didn't like people like coming in the backyard and stuff like that.
But like you're sharing a story, we all even like you said, you grew up downtown, but you have a connection with plants, and we're excited about that because we think we're in a really unique position. We are located at Midtown, and so to be this beautiful green oasis where whether you want to walk around the lake and just have a moment of quiet, or you want to come and see the most beautiful flower borders you've ever seen, you can kind of get energized and inspired that way.
So tell me more about the flower aspect of it. Is there a certain type of flower that you guys are going for, or does this depend on the season?
It will absolutely depend on the season, and the goal for this is to make it stunningly beautiful through every season, even in the winter, right? So you might not think about the winter being beautiful in a vegetable garden.
I don't.
And a lot of vegetable gardens, people do just sort of let them lie fallow for the winter. But we have a lot of guests in the winter, and there's a beautiful greenhouse filled with orchids. So our team's working really thoughtfully to ensure that we can have really cool plants that, again, you may be a botanist who understands all the different varieties and you could be inspired, but if you don't know the plants, you could come and just think that is the most artfully grown or trained or pruned plant. And so we'll be doing a lot of artful pruning of things so that in the winter it gives interest. But then in spring, obviously there'll be waves of all of your favorites, right? Things that daffodils, tulips, lilies, irises. So there'll be things for cutting. There will be, and then as the seasons go on, there'll be a lot more like true mixed borders. So if you think of the easiest way to say it would be like think of like photos of English cottage gardens or English mixed flower borders. So just really beautiful, artfully composed, combinations of plants that have bold foliage, bold texture, and that allow us to cut things from the garden and bring arrangements into the museum at times or into the the restrooms and do workshops, classes, programs that people can come and learn.
Yeah. I am really excited about this. I am really excited about what's to come. And this is going to open in fall of 2026. We
broke ground yesterday. Very, very excited that our team is on track for construction to be complete this time next year.
That's fast.
So we'll be letting folks get a sneak peek of it next winter. The goal is with winter lights that people can get a sneak peek, and then we'll be with great fanfare inviting everybody to the really flowery season the following spring.
Oh, I'm so excited about this. Is there anything else that we need to know, that Central Indiana needs to know about Newfields?
I would just say this is another investment in this incredible, iconic part of our community that wouldn't happen without so many people in this community standing up and supporting it. And I want to thank everybody who's been involved in it, and I invite everybody to come along with us on the journey. If you go to our website, we'll have a tracker that you can see over the next year, the progress as the construction is happening. And I hope folks come along on the journey with us and see it when it opens next fall and spring of 27.
Well, I'll tell you what, I am definitely going to be there. I drive past all the time on Michigan Road, and in that area.
Come in and see us.
Definitely coming.
Don't drive by. Come in and see us.
I'm definitely going. I'm definitely walking in, and I'm definitely gonna. This is all. I'm gonna commit to this. One plant, or not, and I want it to be edible because I need some use out of this.
We can talk offline. I can give you some fun suggestions.
Thank you so much, Jonathan, for coming in. I really appreciate you, and I'm super excited for what is going to happen with this garden.
Thanks, Deja. It's been wonderful talking with you.
Thank you.